to respond to the urgent food security and nutrition needs of vulnerable people across the planet. There is no doubt that recent geopolitical developments have aggravated an already difficult situation. Your Excellencies, I represent the people of Pakistan. We possess the potential to not only meet our own food security needs, but to play our part to feed the people of our region and the world. Unfortunately, Pakistan has been unable to unlock its own agriculture and economic potential. We have suffered from the vestiges of colonialism, our own turbulent history, and constant quest to improve our democracy. We are caught in the crosshairs of global geopolitics, positioned as we are geographically. While our own context provides a unique set of challenges, like the rest of the developing world, we too face the same existential threats of climate change, COVID pandemic, and poverty. All these factors make a country like Pakistan not only food insecure, but water and energy insecure as well. The roadmap for global food security's call to action is important and impressive, and will go a long way to address the imminent crises. The call for the United Nations member states with available resources to make donations to key humanitarian organizations will help provide immediate life-saving assistance. The call for the United Nations member states with large stockpiles to provide in-kind donations. The call for the United Nations member states to keep food and agriculture markets open and avoid unjustified restrictive measures. The call for the United Nations member states with available resources to increase fertilizer production. The call for United Nations member states to support small-holding farmers through financial, logistical, and infrastructural support. And the call for United Nations member states to increase their investment into develop and implement climate-smart agriculture innovations. And the call for the United Nations member states to monitor markets affecting food systems to ensure full transparency are important. This ambitious roadmap is most welcome. It will not only motivate countries who have resources to meet challenges, but will also provide assurances to those of us who face challenges due to limited resources. Despite resource challenges and limited resources, Pakistan has never shirked our responsibility in times of a humanitarian crisis. Pakistan is playing a leadership role in advocating for humanitarian aid to the people of Afghanistan. We have provided humanitarian assistance to Afghanistan and to the Ukraine despite our limited resources, and we are aware of our obligations. If we are to deal comprehensively with the challenge of food security in the world today, we must have an equally comprehensive roadmap to deal with the existential crises of our time, which we all face: the climate crisis, the COVID pandemic, and global conflicts. Your Excellencies, hunger has no nationality. Poverty does not care for the color of our skin. Viruses, bacteria, and infections do not recognize borders. Extreme temperatures, rising sea levels, and the threat of climate catastrophe do not recognize ethnicities. The wars of men, geopolitical strife and conflict have followed us throughout human history. They aggravate the challenge of poverty and hunger and create humanitarian crises in their wake. Conflict further divides humanity at a time when we need unity the most. The new generation look to world leaders to unite to meet the challenges of our time. Our generation expects unity. Where the existential threat of a new pandemic should have united humanity, instead, initially, we saw the politicization of science, disinformation campaigns, and domestic and international political rivalries poisoning the debate around our global response. We still need to come together in the face of a global health catastrophe to truly end this pandemic and ensure that vaccines and healthcare are a right and not a privilege. As things stand, the global health and economic impact of this crisis is still to be seen in its entirety. The climate crisis continues to pose an existential threat to the human race. History will record whether we met with the very real threat of extinction. Did our generation unite and meet the challenge, or did we allow our divisions to get in the way of our own survival? In terms of food security, the COVID pandemic and its economic consequences were indeed an unexpected shock. The climate crisis is an ever-increasing direct threat to food security. As I arrived from Pakistan, my home province of Sindh has recorded the highest temperatures on the planet, with Jacobabad hitting 50 degrees centigrade in April. These are not temperatures these are temperatures that we are used to seeing in the peak of summer, not in spring. We face an acute water shortage, and our entire country is currently suffering from drought. Our agriculture and food security are at risk, but we are also facing water insecurity as a result of the climate crisis. War and conflict in all its forms aggravates issues, distracts us from our common goals, and is a source of misery for people directly and indirectly affected. We call on humanity to unite to meet the challenge of food security, to rise to the challenges posed by existential threats like COVID and climate change. And we must rely on dialogue and diplomacy to resolve conflicts peacefully, so we can work together to ensure we feed humankind, so we can save mankind from the COVID pandemic, so we can save humanity in the face of climate change. United, we are certain to meet all of these and any other challenges in the future and emerge triumphant. Divided, we are destined to fall, destined to fail. My generation is looking towards the United Nations to deliver the peace we were promised, the peace we deserve. Thank you.